Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving deep today, taking a look at AI and how it's shaking things up in the legal and compliance world.
Uh-huh.
We're pulling some really interesting info from Kognition.Info. They're the folks really digging into all the AI trends and spotting opportunities.
Right.
And get this, their research is saying this market is going to be worth like tens of billions of dollars in the next few years.
Wow.
Think about it. That's handling all those legal processes for basically every company out there. That's the scale we're talking about.
And it's not just the money. It's a whole bunch of things coming together at once. You've got all these regulations that are just getting more and more complex.
Yeah.
Then you've got businesses trying to, cut costs wherever they can.
Yeah.
And on top of that, there's this explosion of data more than ever before. So naturally, everyone is looking for AI solutions.
Makes sense. But let's get to the heart of it. Why should our listeners really care about AI changing the game in legal and compliance?
Because it's going to affect you directly. Think about just buying something online. AI could be looking at your contract right then and there,
Really?
spotting any hidden things, risks you wouldn't even think of. That's just one example of how AI is quietly shifting the rules of the game.
So you're saying next time I'm clicking agree on one of those terms of service things, there's probably AI working behind the scenes. Kind of unsettling, isn't it?
It's definitely a change,
Yeah.
but it's not always a bad thing. I mean, think of it this way. AI can actually make legal processes faster and more transparent.
Okay.
So you have small legal issues, something not too complicated. Instead of spending hours researching or paying a lawyer a bunch of money, you could use an AI tool
Oh, I see.
and get the guidance you need quickly and accurately.
So AI could make legal help more accessible to everyday people. That's an interesting way to look at it. I hadn't thought of it like that.
Exactly. And this is really just the beginning. We're already seeing AI being used for contract analysis, predictive analytics, compliance monitoring, and legal research.
Let's break those down a bit. Contract analysis. What exactly does that involve?
Imagine this. You run a small business, and you get this huge contract from a supplier.
Yeah.
Instead of reading through every single word, you just upload it to an AI platform.
Wow.
The AI takes a look, identifies all the key points, highlights potential risks, and even suggests some different wording. And all that in just minutes.
So it's like having a super fast lawyer without the huge hourly rate.
That's the idea. AI can make legal help more affordable, especially for, smaller businesses or people who can't afford a whole legal team.
That makes sense. What about this predictive analytics thing? Can AI actually tell you who's going to win a lawsuit?
Well, it's not magic, but it's getting pretty close. These AI algorithms look at tons of legal data.
Oh, wow.
Things like case law, how judges usually rule, even trends on social media.
Really?
They use all that to figure out how likely someone is to win. It's not about replacing human lawyers. It's about giving them more information to plan their strategies.
So it's like having a data-driven partner in the courtroom, helping lawyers make smarter decisions. That's fascinating.
Right. And then there's compliance monitoring. With all these regulations always changing, it's hard for businesses to keep up.
For sure.
AI can help by constantly checking internal data, news, and regulatory updates.
Yeah.
It's like a 247 watchdog, alerting companies to any potential problems before they become serious.
That makes sense. So instead of always trying to catch up, businesses can stay ahead of the curve with AI. What about legal research? Will AI make those law libraries disappear?
I wouldn't say they're going to vanish just yet, but AI is definitely making legal research way more efficient.
How so?
Imagine just typing in your legal question and having this AI go through millions of documents and cases,
Wow.
finding you the most relevant info instantly.
That sounds like a dream come true for anyone who's ever had to do legal research. No more hours and hours spent digging through databases. It seems like AI is changing almost everything in the legal and compliance world.
It's definitely having a huge impact. And as the technology keeps getting better, we can expect even more innovative uses in the future.
I bet there are also challenges, right? Things to be concerned about.
Absolutely. Legal language is very complex and nuanced.
Right.
AI systems are getting better, but they still have trouble with some aspects of interpretation and understanding context. And of course, there are always concerns about data privacy,
Yeah.
especially when you're dealing with sensitive legal information.
Makes sense. So it's not just about throwing AI at every legal problem. It's about finding the right balance, right, between technology and good old human expertise.
Exactly. It's about AI helping people not replacing them completely.
So we've talked about what's driving this, the ways it's being used, and some of
Mhm.
the challenges, but who's actually leading this AI revolution? Who are the big players in this space?
Well, it's a very dynamic landscape. You've got startups and the big established companies all making their mark. We're seeing companies like Harvey AI and Spellbook getting huge investments for their innovative solutions.
Harvey AI, for example, they just secured a massive Series B funding round. Sounds like investors are really confident about this sector.
Absolutely. It shows they believe AI in law is the future. And it's not just startups. The big players like Thomson Reuters and LexisNexis are also investing heavily, putting AI into their existing products and buying up promising startups.
Sounds like a very competitive market. Everyone wants a piece of the pie.
Exactly. And that competition is a good thing. It drives innovation and pushes the limits of what AI can do.
So we have the quick-moving startups changing things up and the established giants using their power to stay ahead. Sounds like the AI legal scene is anything but boring. But where is all this heading? What does the future hold for AI and the legal profession?
The future is full of possibilities, some more futuristic than others. One area that's really exciting is the idea of multi-agent legal systems.
Multi-agent systems. Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It might sound futuristic, but it's closer than you think. Imagine a team of specialized AI agents, each with its own expertise, all working together to solve a complex legal problem. You could have one focused on legal research, another on writing contracts, and another on negotiation tactics.
So it's like creating the ultimate AI legal dream team, each member with its own unique skills.
Exactly. This multi-agent approach could completely change how we deal with complex legal issues, especially those that involve multiple countries or really complicated regulations.
That's really interesting. Are there any other futuristic things on the horizon?
Oh, absolutely. Generative AI is another area with massive potential. It can actually create new content. Imagine AI writing legal documents that are not only accurate but easy to understand, even for people who aren't lawyers.
That would be amazing. No more trying to decipher pages of legal jargon.
Exactly. Generative AI could also be used to create personalized legal guidance tailored to each person's situation.
Wow, that's incredible. But let's get even more futuristic. Are we talking about AI actually making legal decisions?
That's where the idea of autonomous legal entities comes in. Imagine AI systems that can make contracts, handle legal obligations, and even resolve disputes, all on their own.
Okay, now that's mind-blowing. Are we talking about AI that can think like lawyers?
Well, think might be pushing it a bit right now, but these autonomous legal entities would essentially be self-governing systems, making decisions and taking action within a set legal framework.
It sounds like we're entering a whole new world here. What would that even look like in reality?
Imagine a decentralized AI system that manages property ownership on the blockchain. This system could automatically handle contracts, track changes in ownership, and resolve disputes, all without human involvement.
So it's like a whole new legal ecosystem where AI entities interact and operate with their own set of rules. It's exciting and a little bit scary, right?
It definitely raises a lot of questions about control, accountability, and what it even means to be a legal person.
Yeah, that's something to think about. We've talked about these exciting, even futuristic developments. But what about right now? Are there companies already doing amazing things in this space?
Absolutely. Let's dive into some specific companies and see how they're already shaping this AI-powered legal landscape.
Let's do that.
Yeah, so many companies are doing cool things. One that really stands out is Harvey AI. They're building a platform specifically for lawyers, and they're getting a ton of buzz and funding.
Yeah, I saw that.
They just closed a Series B round, valuation of, get this, $715 million.
That's serious money. What makes Harvey AI so special?
Well, they're using some really advanced natural language processing.
Okay.
So their AI can really understand legal language, like with incredible accuracy.
Yeah.
That means it can do things like review contracts, research case law, even draft documents, way faster and more accurately than traditional methods.
So it's not just about speed, it's actually understanding the nuances of legal language. Impressive. What are some other companies doing interesting work in this space?
Another one to keep an eye on is Spellbook.
Okay.
Their focus is on contract drafting, making it easier and more accessible. Their AI can actually generate clauses based on what you need, saving you time and reducing errors.
Wow, so instead of starting from scratch or using those generic templates, you can have an AI create a contract that's tailor-made for you. That could be a game changer for small businesses or startups who don't have a whole legal team.
Exactly. It levels the playing field, giving people the tools to handle some of this stuff themselves. And it's not just the startups. The big companies are also making moves. Thomson Reuters, for instance, acquired Practical Law Company for a cool $450 million.
Wow, that's a big acquisition. What was Thomson Reuters after?
Practical Law Company is known for their, well, practical legal guidance and resources. Thomson Reuters sees a huge opportunity to add AI to these offerings, making them even more powerful and easier to use.
So it seems like everyone is waking up to the potential of AI to change the legal industry, but it's not about replacing lawyers altogether, is it?
No, not at all. In fact, many experts believe that AI will actually create more opportunities for lawyers.
Really?
By freeing them from the more tedious tasks, they can focus on the higher-level thinking and client interaction.
So it's more about working together than replacing each other.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance, using AI to make humans better, not making them obsolete.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit and talk about the future. We've touched on some pretty futuristic concepts already, like autonomous legal entities. What are some other developments on the horizon?
One area that's really interesting is where AI meets blockchain technology.
Okay.
We talked about those decentralized AI systems for things like property ownership,
Right.
but there's so much more, like using blockchain for tamper-proof legal records
Mhm.
or automating how smart contracts are enforced.
So imagine a world where contracts are automatically carried out and enforced by a decentralized network without needing all the traditional legal stuff. That's both fascinating and a little bit scary, isn't it?
It definitely makes you think about how our legal systems will adapt,
Mhm.
but it also opens up these incredible possibilities for a more efficient, transparent, and accessible legal world.
Absolutely. It's clear that AI is already changing legal and compliance, and it's only going to get faster. But with all this excitement, we have to remember the challenges, the risks.
Of course.
Yeah.
We talked about some of the technical hurdles, like how complex legal language is and the need for really good data.
Right.
But there are also these bigger societal implications.
Like what?
Well, one concern is bias in AI systems. If the data used to train an AI is biased, the results could be unfair and discriminatory.
That's a huge point, especially when it comes to the law where fairness is everything. How can we make sure these AI systems are developed and used responsibly?
That's a tough question, no easy answer.
Hmm.
It starts with understanding the risks and building in safeguards. We need to use diverse and representative data to train these systems.
Makes sense.
And we need to constantly check them for bias. And just as important, we need clear ethical guidelines for using AI in law and compliance.
So it sounds like a lot of responsibility falls on the people and companies building these AI systems.
It's a shared responsibility. The developers, companies, regulators, and society as a whole. Everyone needs to make sure AI is used ethically and for the right reasons.
That leads to another question. What does all this mean for everyday people? How will AI affect how they deal with the legal system?
Well, the effects are already being felt in a lot of ways. From chatbots on legal websites that answer your questions to algorithms that personalize insurance quotes, AI is increasingly involved in our legal lives.
So even if we're not lawyers ourselves, we're all dealing with AI in a legal context, whether we know it or not.
Precisely. And as AI gets more advanced, this trend will only grow. We can expect more AI tools and services that make legal information and assistance more accessible and affordable.
That sounds good, but are there any downsides to relying more and more on AI in the legal world?
One concern is the potential for a gap between those who have access to these technologies and those who don't. If legal services become completely dependent on AI, people who can't afford the tools or who aren't comfortable with technology could be left behind.
That's a valid point. We don't want AI to make existing inequalities in the legal system worse.
Exactly. We need to be aware of these potential problems and work towards making the legal landscape more equitable and inclusive, even as we adopt AI.
So it's not just about building the technology, it's about making sure everyone benefits, not just a select few.
Exactly. It's about using AI to create a more just and equitable legal system for everyone.
We've covered a lot of ground today. The reasons behind AI's rise in law, the amazing things it's already doing, and the potential benefits and risks. But there's one question we haven't answered yet.
What's that?
What does all this mean for the future of the legal profession itself? Will lawyers become obsolete in this AI-driven world?
That's the million-dollar question, right? A lot of lawyers and law students are wondering the same thing.
Oh.
And while we can't predict the future for sure, I think it's safe to say the legal profession is going to change a lot. But instead of seeing AI as a threat, I see it as an opportunity, a chance for lawyers to redefine what they do, to learn new skills, embrace technology, and ultimately serve their clients even better.
So it's not about being replaced by AI, but about working with it to create a legal system that's more efficient, effective, and fair.
Exactly. And as we've discussed, AI isn't perfect. It still needs humans to guide it, interpret the results, and make judgments. Lawyers who can adapt and use these new technologies will be in high demand.
This has been a fascinating deep dive into AI's impact on the legal and compliance world. Before we wrap up, what's your main takeaway from all of this? What do you hope our listeners will remember?
Great question. I think the biggest takeaway is this. AI isn't just a tech thing. It's changing society as a whole. It's changing how we live, work, and interact with everything, including the legal system. And like any powerful tool, it has huge potential for good and bad.
So it's up to all of us to make sure AI is used for the right reasons, to promote justice, fairness, and equality.
Absolutely. We have to be both optimistic and cautious. Recognize the power of AI, but also be aware of the risks.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of AI and law. We hope you found it informative, thought-provoking, and maybe even a little inspiring. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay involved in shaping the future of law in this exciting new era. Until next time.
It really does feel like we're on the verge of something new, where tech and law are kind of becoming one. It's exciting, but a little scary too, right? It's definitely a time of huge change. And the legal world, which is all about tradition and precedent, is having to adapt fast. But like we've been talking about, even with all the potential disruption, there's a real chance to build a legal system that's better, more efficient, accessible, even more fair.
Thinking back to that Cognition.Info research, was there anything that really surprised you?
One thing that really stood out was how quickly everyone is adopting AI. Just a few years back, it was seen as this niche thing,
Right.
mostly for those who are really tech savvy. But now it's becoming the norm. Companies of all sizes in every industry, they're investing in it. That shift in thinking has been amazing to see.
So it's not a fad, it's like a total change in how legal work is being done.
Yeah.
Which brings us back to our listener, the person trying to navigate all of this. What advice would you give them based on everything we've talked about?
I think the most important thing is awareness. Just understanding that AI is already a part of your legal interactions, even if you don't realize it. Like when you sign a contract online or talk to a chatbot for customer service, or even when you get a medical diagnosis, AI could be involved behind the scenes.
So it's about being a smart consumer, knowing how AI is being used and not being afraid to ask questions.
Exactly. Don't hesitate to ask things like, is an algorithm making this decision?
Yeah.
Or what data are you using? Or what are my rights here? The more we understand how AI is being used, the better we can navigate this new legal world.
I like that. It's about being in control, not just accepting whatever AI throws at us. As we wrap up here, any final thoughts you want to leave our listeners with? Any insights for them to think about?
As we move further into this future with AI everywhere, I think it's really important to remember technology is just a tool. We as a society get to decide how we use it. We have the power to shape AI to match our values, to make things more just and fair, and to improve our lives.
Well said. It's a good reminder that we're not just passengers in this tech revolution, we're the ones driving it. Every choice we make shapes the future.
Absolutely. And as we've seen, what happens with law is now tied to what happens with AI. It's a future filled with possibilities, some good, some challenging, and it's a future we'll build together.
Couldn't set it better myself. That brings this deep dive to an end. Thanks for joining us as we explored AI in legal and compliance. We hope you found it informative, thought-provoking, and maybe even a little inspiring. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay involved in shaping the future of law in this exciting new era. Until next time.